Elfie, can you give me a kiss, buddy? Can you give me a kiss? Oh, yeah. Getting a little exercise, buddy. Getting a little exercise. Oh. Oh, too high. A little too high, buddy. Good bird. Elfie. Come here. Good bird, Elfie. Elfie, come. Good bird. What's going on, guys? Alan here, aka the Bird Bay, and in this quick video I wanted to talk about how to really get energy out of your bird if you're having problems with potentially aggression, a lot of loud screaming, or just a parrot that's kind of uneasy and is just kind of not really in its best relaxed state. You know what I'm talking about. Your bird is constantly asking for attention. Maybe it's constantly running back and forth. Maybe it's constantly just got a lot of energy, and you can just tell, right? So this is something that sometimes happens to parrots. I mean, realistically, they're meant to be out in the wild, out roaming free. We get them from a breeder, a bird store, whatever, and then the majority of the day they are perched inside their cage or outside of the cage, but not getting as much exercise, right? So wanted to share some quick tips with you guys on how to best get your parrot to get a lot of energy out. It's going to help with any type of maybe potential aggression or a lot of screaming or vocalization. And I mean, keep in mind, the vocalization is going to happen naturally no matter what. But there's a difference between loud, consistent screeching, either for attention or for whatever, versus, you know, just regular chatter that any type of parrot's going to have depending on the parrot that you have, right? So that's something that I really like to work with Elfie, because sometimes he'll be in his cage when he's had his full 12 hours of sleep. He's in there and he's just kind of pacing back and forth. You can tell he has a lot of energy. So some things that I like to do, one of them, these techniques that I really recommend that you try to get into over time is indoor free flight. Now, with Elfie, he is a smaller parrot. He's probably not going to do as well flying outside with, you know, those big predators, those falcons, compared to maybe a larger bird for free flight. So it might not be the best case scenario to take him outside so that he can free fly on his own. But the next best thing that I like to teach him to do is indoor free flight, and that's just back and forth recall. And the other option would be to do harnessed outdoor recall. So obviously you want to start with indoors, but that's something that I like to do to get Elfie to really get moving for his training session. Come. Good bird, Elfie, you did it. Elfie. Either once a day or sometimes even twice a day, depending on his mood and kind of his energy that he's trying to give me. If he really wants to train, then I'll totally do like multiple flight sessions. And it's just one of those things that I like to teach him to do. So if, you know, he flies into a tree or perch somewhere really high, when he gets spooked or something, he can come back down. So not just the practicality of getting the energy out of your parrot so that it can, you know, really just kind of calm it down a little bit and get all that pent up energy out, which is actually going to be really good part of its overall mental health as well, right? The last thing that you want is to, you know, overfeed your parrot, put him in a cage, don't give him a lot of exercise or a lot of mental stimulation, and what's the result? A yelling, screaming, potentially hormonal, aggressive parrot. And the last thing that we want, and part of what I preach here on this channel, is so that we can put ourselves in the best position to build a good relationship with you and your parrot so that it doesn't end up getting rehomed or going somewhere else, right? Another thing that you can do that I really like to do, and I just started doing with Elfie, is I got him his foraging box. It's basically a box with little holes in it that's really hard to get into, and it's got a bunch of like little leather bands and stuff to just make it hard to get into there. So what I did is I got him a foraging box. It was like $15 or something like that at the local bird store. And then anyway, I took some of his pellets that I do for his evening feed. I give him a nice healthy chop in the morning, and then for the afternoon when he's gonna eat, after his training session, I then give him his pellets. Now I give him about 60 to 80% of his pellets actually in his bowl, and the other half, or the other 20%, I put in the foraging box so that he has to physically and mentally get in there to get some energy out, to figure them out, and to really pull them out. And I mean, when I first got him this thing, he was going at it for like almost 2 hours, because he got the piece of one pellet and he was like, if I can get one, I can get a lot. So throw some treats in there in the beginning, whatever your parrot likes, and then from there just have him work on getting those treats, those pellets out of there to use some of his energy. Obviously the next best thing that we can do is make sure that we have a variety of different toys to keep your parrot entertained and occupied throughout the day. Elfie really likes, small pieces of wood that he can break. Wood blocks tend to be his favorite. He doesn't really care as much for plastic toys, although he will play with them on occasion. So I do a mix of foraging toys, a mix of the wood blocks, different colors, different variations. I move them around so he has different areas where he can play with toys. Sometimes he plays with toys. You're okay, buddy. Sometimes he'll play with toys outside of his cage as well when I'm hanging out with them, and it's like, a wooden straw ball or a wooden kind of rope ball, or not wooden rope ball, but it's like a rope ball anyway, just things that he can choose to play with and just chew on and get a lot of his energy out. So those are kind of like the three main things that I like to work with Elfie to help him, become more of a calm, relaxed bird that isn't going to be yelling for attention all the time. And really what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get a parrot that's self-entertained and at the same time is going to be really responsive to training and working with you, because your parrot has a proper diet, good healthy chop, maybe some pellets, and then we're also making sure they're getting 12 hours of sleep on average, and then we're making sure that we are feeding just enough food so that your parrot stays motivated, right? Motivated to want to train with you when that time comes, whether that's, the early afternoon or first thing in the morning, whenever it's most convenient for you. And it just really helps you build that bond, right? Training with your parrot, whether you're working on tricks, whether you're working on indoor free flight, just that aspect of it helps build that bond and that healthy relationship with your parrot. And that's ultimately what we're looking to do, right? Right, Elfie? You're so cute, little Elfie Welf. You've been hanging out today, huh? Today's your rest day. Can you give me a kiss? Can you give me a kiss? You don't want to give me a kiss, huh? Give me a kiss. Oh, good bird, Elfie. You're so cute. All right, guys. That's it for this quick video. Elfie and I signing out for the day. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out Elfie and I's Instagram page in the description below, and let me know what other topics you want me to cover when it comes to parrot training, diet, nutrition, indoor free flight, trick training, whatever it is that you have. Drop it in the comment section, and thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next time.